how's it going, guys? Welcome back, all you tech nerds, and all the people who aren't yet tech nerds, but don't worry, we'll get you there. Today we are back with a little bit of a DIY repair. So, a couple of days ago, I am, in the middle of exam period, got a whole bunch of final reports and all that kind of stuff to type out, so I'm like typing away like mad on my Razer Blackwidow Ultimate. Love this keyboard, it's fantastic. It's the 2014, so it's got the Razer green switches in it, which are just fantastic. Really like it. And I noticed that, I'm going to direct your attention to my screen now, I'm just going to pull that up. Whenever I hit the W, it'll either, now the trip, yeah, there we go, there's a double. There's another double or triple. Whenever I hit it, it would sometimes double tap. And then I noticed, I'm going to go to a new line, if I held the W, it would stutter. See? So it would go, and then it would stutter. Now, you can see that I hadn't lifted my finger off of the button at all. I'm just, moving it around just a little bit. But I'm gonna go to a new line. I'm gonna put my finger on the S here. I'm gonna move it around a little bit, and you see how smooth that is. So there's something wrong with the actual switch, and I tried to contact Razer. They're like, sorry, can't do anything for you because you're 3 months out of warranty. I'm like, well, shit, that sucks, because paid $140 for the keyboard, and I want to try and be brand loyal and all that kind of stuff, and they're just not going to do anything for me. So what we're going to do is not recommended at all whatsoever. I do not condone this. However, I am very comfortable with my skills, beginner to intermediate at that, but this is what we're going to go with. So I've got this is hot, but this is my soldering iron. And I've got some new solder. What we're going to do is we're going to take the W switch, like the switch underneath the W keycap, and replace it with the scroll lock switch, which is one that I don't think I have ever used. Actually, I did. I used it by accident once, and I figured out why, or I was curious as to why I couldn't scroll with my mouse or keyboard or whatever anymore. So moving on with the repair. The things that you're going to use are an assortment. I don't even know why that's there. That's not even the proper here. That's what kind of screwdriver that is. It's that weird hexagonal one. I don't even need that. Alright, so tools you're going to use. You're going to need an assortment of screwdrivers. I've got a small Phillips and a larger Phillips. I think it's a number 1 and a number 2 because you never know. And then I've got a really tiny, almost jeweler style flathead to do like gentle prying and stuff with. I recommend a plastic one. Or like a plastic pry tool, but I don't have one, so we're just going to go with this and be really careful. Also, as I mentioned, you're going to need a soldering iron or a soldering gun, whichever works. This one should be hot. I actually got this in a kit a few years back. It kind of looks like this from the Source, or Radio Shack as it used to be called, and it came with one of these, which is a desoldering tool. So you push this plunger, and then when you hit this button, this nozzle, it sucks the solder right out, so it desolders the joint. So that's what we're going to have to do to move the switch. Alright, so I'm going to unplug my keyboard, and we are going to get right to it. I don't anticipate this being a super quick switch out, so I've got some Spotify going in the background. I might not be able to play it in the background for you guys because of copyright infringement and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, so I'm going to fast forward the disassembly, and we'll get right to the soldering part, because disassembly is pretty straightforward. You take the rubber feet off and all that kind of stuff. You'll see this. Just don't worry, trust me. You'll be fine. Something I forgot to mention before, as you can see, I'm just going to try and direct your attention over to my soldering station. I do have a paper notepad down. Reason that being is this gets very hot, and my mouse pad is actually like basically plastic and rubber. So if that touches the mouse pad, it will actually melt through. This happened with one of my old headphone cords or whatever. It was an accident or whatever. So just make sure that you have something that is not meltable, and like paper is combustible, but the soldering iron doesn't get hot enough to combust. So just wanted to sort of recommend that you put something else that doesn't melt below it. All right, and we'll sort of go from there. so here we are. I got the body off all right. It's looking pretty dirty, actually. I'm surprised how much dirt this stuff collects. All right, so I've already got the keycap switch off of the scroll lock and the W. What I didn't realize is that this is an aluminum plate. So first of all, for all of you who are wondering why you buy a Razor, you buy a Razor for the aluminum plate. I know the Corsair K series does it as well. Both solid keyboards, both solid builds. So yeah, what I didn't realize though is that this plate may actually play a part in mounting the key switch. So it looks as if it may be clipped on from underneath, so I will not be able to take the key switch off without taking the plate off. That was a redesign for the 2014, which is this model here, so I'm not sure if I'll have to remove all of the keycaps in order to do that. So I'm gonna do a little research first of all and figure out if that is in fact something I need to do. So yeah, that's where we're at. There, that's where we're at. Alright, so I think I figured it out. There are 4 solder points. The 2 big ones are to hold the key switch, the 2 little ones are to hold the LED. So we're going to try and remove all the solder all at once and then pop the key switch out. You can just like press on this little black tab. Alright, so got my solder gun. It is all nice and warm. So I'm going to operate this in my left hand, or right hand, and then I got the plunger in my left. So remember, you got to push and then hit the button, and then that will suck the solder up. So I'm going to try and stay as out of the way as possible so you guys can actually watch what's going on, but I apologize if my hands do get in the way. So, alright, so we're going on this one here. Alright, so it looks like that worked. Nice clean desolder points. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to try and pop the key switch up front using an excessive amount of force. No, just kidding. Just be gentle, just make sure you don't break anything, because you can't actually buy replacement Razor key switches, and I checked because I didn't want to do this particularly. Alright, so there's that. Just going to remove some of the key switches around it. Now try and keep them, if you do take the key switches out, keep them in the same pattern that they were, or put them on top of a dummy keyboard so you can, I guess, put them back later. Because you don't want to be messing around. I do have a spare keycap, or a spare keyboard, so I'm not too torn up about having, oh, look at that, woohoo! Alright, check that out. That is my first Razor key switch removal. That's exciting. Alright, and the LED will just pop out just like that. So, I'm not going to fix my tab one because I'm going to order some new ones. And then again, I was saying I might replace them. But again, the LED is just sort of very loose, so be careful where you put that. You don't want to break that. Alright, so now that we know that works, we are going to move back over to the W key. And try and, oops, I should probably not put those keycaps there. Alright, so we are going to try and do the same exact thing with the W key, so I'm going to start by taking some of the keycaps off around it. Again, this is just to make working around the key a little bit easier. And also it will help to clean the keycaps afterwards. really stuck on. Ooh, gross. Just a bunch of crap in here. I recommend using an air can duster if you have it. I unfortunately, mine just ran out. WASD, I think. There. All right. So we got the 9 keycaps pulled. So we are going to. I really hope it's the right one. So we are working on. We're working on this one now. So we're going to do the same thing. Again, pump in the left hand. I am right-handed though, so you may want to switch depending on what you're comfortable with. Fuck. Oh man, which is the W? This one, which is this one, which is this one. Alrighty. Alrighty then. It's an Ace Ventura reference in case nobody got that. It's a Canadian thing. Don't worry about it. I think it's this one. Is it this one? Yes. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's go for the clean dismount. So that is key number 2. And again, just going to try and pop it out the front using this little black tab. Actually, it took a little bit more force than I wanted to last time. So what we're going to do is we are going to try and, again, take the little tiny flathead and you're just going to pry at the front and the back of the key. And, oops, it feels like the LED is a little bit stuck. So we're just going to go to the back. Going to heat it up and try and push it through. Alright, so one thing that I had just realized is you want to be careful about which side you solder in with the LEDs, because one side is positive, one side is negative. If you solder them in wrong, the LED will not work. So this is a W key. I'm going to pop it into the scroll and then see if it'll work. And again, so this is gonna be like my test because I don't use that key very often. I want to make sure that my W key is on there real nice. So we're just gonna move it back into the frame. Sorry, gonna be a little bit in the dark. All right, and just gonna try and nuzzle it in there. Beautiful. Now this time I'm gonna have to keep a finger on the other side of the key switch because the LED is gonna want to pop out. Alright, so the key wants to stay in because it's got a little clip, so I'm worried about the LED. So what I'm going to do is, on this one here, I'm just going to take my solder, I'm going to put a little tiny dab on the tip of my soldering iron, and then I'm going to try and stick it in there so I can work with 2 hands again. Alright, it seems like that worked temporarily. Gotta work fast though, just in case it falls out. So. Alright, I don't know about you guys, but that seemed like a pretty clean solder to me. Alright, so before proceeding any further, I'm going to replug the keyboard into the computer just to see if that LED lights up, because I want to make sure I did it properly. Ta-da! Look at that. Beautiful. Let's get to replacing the other one. So again, we're going to take the key, make sure the LED is in the same orientation. We're going to push it in until you hear that little click. I'm not going to take it out, but there was a little click. It almost sounds like the tactile feedback bump of the key switch itself. Alright, so again, I've got a little bit. Alright, so that's just, I got just a little tiny bit on the LED just enough to keep it in place. So there it is. That's the keycap that we're working on. Alright, so there's the W switch. Whew, getting a little nervous now. Alright, so we're just going to flip her over. And we are going to open up Notepad. Oh, that's funny. Alright, we're just going to plug this in now. First of all, does the LED light work? Yes, yes it does. All right. All right, and W. Hey, look at that. We fixed it. Nice. Beautiful. All right. So I'm just going to put it all back together, and then we're going to come back for a conclusion.
And now, a bitter end to the sweet fairy tale that was this video. Unfortunately, I had gotten ambitious while the camera wasn't rolling, and I had tried to swap the LEDs that I said that I wouldn't swap, and I broke some of the printed circuitry. Now, it's just the LEDs that are dead, and the keys, for the most part, work when they feel like it, but it's pretty unpredictable, so for all intents and purposes, the board is no longer functioning as it once was. So thank you for being with me in this very difficult time. But carry on. Finish the video. For the memories.
Alright, so as you might notice, I fixed it. And then I broke it. Remember how I was saying that the tab light was out? So I was like, hey, while we have it open, I might as well just switch the LED light on the scroll key. Oh, you notice it's missing now. And the tab key. Switching from the scroll key to the tab key went just fine, because that was the first time that I had soldered the tab key. Switching from the tab key to the scroll key, I don't know if you can see. Can you see the PCB and how one part of it is chromed, the other part is not? Yeah, I destroyed it. So I don't know what exactly that happens. One of the printed circuits or whatever was broken when the LED came out, because that's actually the first problem. I don't know. So anyways, I killed it. It was working, and then I got ambitious, and now it's broken. So I tried. Follow everything up until the put back together, because I got ambitious after that. You should only resolder everything once. So only do it once, because if I didn't do it twice, I would still have a working keyboard. So I'm pretty upset. I'm going to see if I can get one of those pens or something that you could redraw the PCB circuit with. And then maybe that'll solve it. But for now, sad face, it's dead. So that was my fault. Anyways, hit that like if you want to see me replace it with a chroma, because that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Hit that dislike if you're also sad that I broke my keyboard. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Links are down in the description for any other videos that I've used. Follow me on Twitter and catch me up on Twitch every now and again. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next time, I guess.